Hey there, welcome class. Today we're going to be talking about poetry. We're going to be going over a Georgia standard to determine the meaning of words and phrases as they are used in text, including figurative and connotative meanings. Analyze the impact of rhymes and other repetitions of sounds, also known as alliteration, on a specific verse or stanza of a poem. Our learning target today is what lessons can be learned using the figurative language in the two poems. And I'm going to start out by reading these poems, and then we're going to I'm going to have an opportunity for you to answer some discussion questions to kind of help you reflect. And if you get done with that, you're even welcome to start a Venn diagram comparing and contrasting the two different. Otherwise, the boys, let's reflect on if, and the girls, let's reflect on the desiderata. So if says, this is by Rudyard Kipling. He was a man who wrote the Jungle Book, for instance. So Rudyard Kipling's if you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowance for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor talk too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can bear to hear the truth you've spoken, twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life to broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it all on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at your beginning and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and your nerve and your sinew to serve their turn long after they are gone, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except for the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foe nor loving friend can hurt you, if all men count with you but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 60 seconds worth of a distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son. And so we're going to discuss some of the figurative language coming up in that one, but for the girls, here's the Desiderata. This is by Max Ehrmann. He wrote this in, I think, like 1927. So this one says, go placidly among the noise and haste, and remember what peace there may be in silence. As far as possible, without surrender, be on good terms with all persons. Speak your truth quietly and clearly, and listen to others, even the dull and ignorant. They too have their story. Avoid loud and aggressive persons. They are vexatious on the spirit. If you compare yourself with others, you may become vain or bitter, for always there will be greater or lesser persons than yourself. Enjoy your achievements as well as your plans. Keep interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Exercise caution in your business affairs, for the world is full of trickery. Let this not blind you to what virtue there is. Many persons strive for high ideals, and everywhere life is full of heroism. Be yourself. Especially do not feign affection, neither be cynical about love, for in the fate of all aridity and disenchantment, it is as perennial as the grass. Take care of the counsel of years, graciously surrendering the things of youth. Nurture strength of spirit to shield you in sudden misfortune. Do not distress yourself with the dark imaginings. Many fears are born of fatigue and loneliness. Beyond a wholesome discipline, be gentle with yourself. You are a child of the universe, no less than the trees and the stars, and you have a right to be here. And whether or not it is clear to you, no doubt the universe is unfolding as it should. Therefore, be at peace with God, or however you conceive him. And whatever your labors and aspirations are in the noisy confusion of life, keep peace in your soul. With all this a sham, drudgery and broken dreams, it is a beautiful world. Be cheerful and strive to be happy. So those are two really good poems. I think they can teach us a lot. We'll go through some of the figurative language that we found in the text. So if we go back to if, we can see there are a lot of use of rhyming schemes, and there are also the use of maybe some words you haven't heard of, such as like imposter. We know that. Maybe you've played Among Us and you know the imposter is the person that is trying to deceive you. Or nerve and sinew. Sinew is that part of the body that like holds your elbow together, for instance. And then they say the unforgiving minute. That has to be part of our life, but I'm sure you can think of many more, and we'll get to that with your discussion questions. So in the Desiderata, there were many words that are perhaps we haven't even heard of, like aridity and disenchantment. And I want y'all to discuss among yourselves what you think those mean, and we'll go over that later towards the end of class. And then there's other use of language in the Desiderata that is maybe not as quite as rhyming scheme as if, but the alliterations can still be found in it. That's rhyming words, maybe two words like back to back that start with the same letter and sounds sort of similar. And then we can also see here that in the Desiderata, that there's a lot of mentioning about growing up, and we're all in a figurative part of our life where we're growing up, so maybe we can start to reflect on ourselves. And I'm going to give you all a copy of this now, and I want you to go ahead and answer what figurative language you found in these texts, and then I want you to think and really think about who was this poem potentially written to. And then towards the end of class, I want you to write on a piece of paper for me, what did the poem make you consider about your own life as an exit ticket? And if you get done with all this, I want you to draw a Venn diagram. That's the two big circles that interloop, and go ahead and try to compare and contrast these two works for me, potentially for extra credit. So, do we, let's see, I just got to get myself straight here. Let's make sure that if we are, that as we are doing these questions found in these texts, let's go through the figurative language. I want you to just turn and discuss with a partner, and then write these down for me. And then as far as who the audience is, well, you're my audience. Let's discuss audience for a minute. You're my audience right now, so I was reading this to you. But who did Rudyard Kipling write If to? He talks about at the end, you'll be a man. So potentially he's talking to young men, maybe even young women too. And then the Desiderata has potentially a different sort of audience. It's more about like a letter that you might write to someone you love, or a family member almost to me. But I'm really interested to see what your take on it is, and then we will have time to discuss these answers at the end of class. But like it says here, be gentle with yourself. So I think that Max Ehrmann in the Desiderata maybe had a specific person that he was talking to in mind, but I'm interested to see what you have to say about that. But overall, yeah, I'll go ahead and pass out these papers, and we'll get started. You can pull out another piece of paper to answer these discussion questions, and then on the bottom you can have this exit ticket for me. And like I said, if you get done with all that, go ahead and compare and contrast these for extra credit. Anyways, I really appreciate all y'all's attention, and thank you very much.